I think vibrato can be one of the most confusing things to a lot of singers, and how to control a vibrato can feel very intimidating and very confusing. A lot of the problems are either way too much vibrato, not enough vibrato. So learning how to control your vibrato is really important as a singer. And the way we can do that is by making sure that, one, we don't have way too much pressure that's pushing up from the respiratory system onto the larynx. And opposite of that, we don't have too much pressure coming from the constrictor muscles and from your tongue pushing down onto the larynx from the top. You don't want our larynx to kind of be stuck between these two forms of pressure, because then when we're trying to create that healthy, bouncy, controlled vibrato, we lose that and it becomes either like a really uncontrolled vibrato, or it's too much pressure and then we can't even have that bounce, right? And then we lose out on having a vibrato at all. Very first thing I will do with students who are trying to learn to control their vibrato is to, one, recognize if we have extra pressure coming from the neck, coming from those constrictor muscles, coming from your tongue. You can do tongue retractions, and then also to check if there is way too much pressure coming from the respiratory area, from the respiratory system, which is like here in our body, right? The diaphragm, all of the things that have to do with breathing into the larynx. So if we're having all of that extra pressure, then that's going to be why your vibrato feels very uncontrolled and not free and not relaxed. So we want to be able to expel air, right, while keeping that tension free. We don't want to be taking your abdominal cavity and just like clenching it, and there's so much tension, and people are pushing, trying to get that diaphragm engaged, right? We want it to be almost tension free when we're taking a breath. And so you want that low, slow belly breath. We don't want to be breathing up here where the lungs don't have room to expand in the rib cage. We want to be breathing low and slow. So that's kind of the first step. And the second step is making sure that no tension is happening in your neck or your tongue. What we can do to kind of lower the tension there is something called straw phonation. So you're just going to take literally any regular straw. There's also like specific brands for singers, but you're just going to sing into the straw. Doing that, it's called an SOVT, semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. They're specifically made to have the right amount of pressure going onto your vocal folds, going onto your larynx, so that you're not over pushing, so that you're not under pushing. So singing whatever you're singing, whatever you're practicing, whatever you want to have a vibrato on, singing it through the straw is a really helpful exercise to get your vocal folds used to the right amount of pressure that you're going to need. You can also manipulate your vibrato by learning how to sing two very close pitches very quickly. So like, picking two pitches and kind of going up and down. And you can slow that down and go, and practice it a little faster. I'm trying to go through this really quick. So if you want like a more in-depth video on that skill, let me know. The idea there is that you're actually taking two pitches, practicing singing them close pitches, practicing singing them very fast, because that is really what vibrato is just two pitches very quickly going up and down.